that's the problem with these coaches, et cetera, not realizing that the value of what I offer, and I'm just gonna say this, the value of what I offer has nothing to do with your budget. Oftentimes we think when something is cheaper, it's like we're being nicer to the person, we're being kinder, and we don't realize that we are actually turning off our dream clients because our dream clients are looking to make a significant investment. What? I could take my own knowledge and experience and I can create a brand around that and I can teach people how to do what I did. It feels foreign and like, are you sure? Am I allowed? But again, that's a limiting belief that you're gonna let go or you need to let go of if you wanna build a successful brand. You're absolutely allowed. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and I do all the things, but I do it because I'm so passionate about helping you turn your success story into a 6 or even 7-figure brand. And if you want to do that, you need to understand there are some limiting beliefs that you're going to have to let go. And I actually got the inspiration to do this video by some of the comments that sometimes I receive on my YouTube channel. Now, I know that YouTube in general is not a platform that is known for, its glowing comments or, the most supportive community, but I like to think that I have a very supportive community and I really appreciate all the comments that you all leave on my channel. That said, sometimes I get nasty grams, right? Or, messages from people who leave comments who I can tell that they are dealing with these limiting beliefs, and I just kind of shake my head as I delete the comment, right? Because I'm not gonna let, any nasty comments or harassment stay on my channel, obviously, so don't even waste your time. But with that, I just shake my head because I'm like, wow, they're clearly watching my videos because they're interested in building a successful coaching business, but their limiting beliefs are so strong that they're not even able to receive the information because they don't even realize that they have these blinders on. And so maybe you've been watching my videos kind of silently, maybe you have, a bit of skepticism about whether it's even possible for you to build a successful coaching business. If that is the case, then you are definitely gonna wanna stay tuned to this video because I'm gonna go over the limiting beliefs that you are gonna have to let go of. You gotta let go of them if you ultimately want to build a successful coaching brand. All right, so the first limiting belief, brace yourself, grab your chair. The first limiting belief that you are gonna have to let go of, and I had to let go of this too, so I say this from personal experience, you gotta let go of this idea that cheaper is better, right? And so some of the nasty comments that I get or whatever, the sarcastic comments that get left on my channel is this idea that, if something is more expensive than what you presently can afford, then it just must be exorbitant, it's a ripoff, I can't believe anybody would charge that much, that's the problem with these coaches, et cetera, not realizing that the value of what I offer, and I'm just gonna say this, the value of what I offer has nothing to do with your budget. It has everything to do with the value that I offer, right? So I'm not gonna change the price of my program because of what you personally can afford. The price of my program is based on the value of my offer. And I have plenty of videos. In fact, you can check out one right here, which is all about how to price your products and services. You want to base it on the ROI that you provide. And so if the ROI that you provide is high, if the value that you provide is high, it behooves you to charge according to that value. Because here's the thing, your best clients who are looking for a strong transformation, if you charge less than what is, makes sense for the value that you are providing, they are gonna overlook your coaching program. And I understand this from personal experience. Oftentimes we think when something is cheaper, it's like we're being nicer to the person, we're being kinder, and we don't realize that we are actually turning off our dream clients because our dream clients are looking to make a significant investment. Our dream clients understand the value of what we have to offer and they are looking for things at the appropriate price point. And I say this for myself, right? I remember when I first quit my job and I was looking for an attorney to help me draft contracts, and I was just so nervous about getting all of my stuff together like legally because I was like, oh my goodness, this is my bread and butter now, right? This is how I make my money, and so I need to make sure that I am like legally set to go. And so I remember interviewing one attorney, and the first tip off was that she agreed to meet with me for free, right? So we had an hour-long consultation, and it was things completely for free. And when I asked her about her prices to come up with my contracts and to file a trademark for me and all these different things that I needed to do to really get my business squared away legally, she was like very vague on the pricing, and it was like really inexpensive. It was like, oh yeah, I could do your contract for like $200. And I mean, I didn't know much about like the legal field, but I knew attorneys typically charge a lot more than that. In fact, her prices were much lower than what I was prepared to pay. And so most people think, again, being cheaper is kinder and that your client is gonna like that, and that's really great. But it actually kind of put me off because I was like, whoa, 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 this is my business that we're talking about here. And I quit my job. I'm in this full time. So I started to question, like, how long have you been an attorney? Her pricing did not convey confidence. And more than looking for a cheap price, I was looking for an excellent attorney who's really gonna help me get my my contracts and things together. And so I remember reaching out to another attorney that came highly recommended. And as soon as I reached out to her, she was like, well, here's the price for my consultation. So she didn't even do consultations for free. And she was like, you know, you go through the consultation. If you choose to go through some of my services, then I will apply the price that you pay for the consultation for these various services that I offer. And so when I paid her for the consultation, we got on the phone. I talked to her about all the different things that I need. She, you know, gave me really great things to think about in terms of trademark contracts, whatever. And she laid out her prices, and it wasn't cheap, but it was commensurate with what I would expect an attorney to charge. And so who do you think I went with? Not the cheaper attorney. I went with the more expensive attorney because she came off as more confident and her prices seemed appropriate. And so this is what I'm saying. And I feel like I need to say this because oftentimes there are new and emerging coaches who are going back and forth on their pricing, and then they might see some nasty gram comments like, oh, I can't believe anybody would charge that. And they feel like, ooh, is that too much? Maybe I shouldn't be charging that much. Understand that your dream client is actually looking to pay more, not less. And your ideal client might not be leaving comments in the YouTube channel, right? So not everybody who leaves nasty grams about, I can't believe coaches, you know, charge this much, they're probably not your ideal client. Your ideal client is silent, but they're silently looking at you to determine, do you have confidence? Do you understand what you value? And are you charging appropriately? And so the first limiting belief that you need to let go of is that cheaper is better. Oftentimes that is not the case. You want to make sure that you are pricing according to your value, not any, you know, nebulous budget that you think your audience may or may not be able to afford. All right, the second limiting belief that you need to let go of, which is kind of related to the first limiting belief, is this idea that selling is sleazy. And so I have an entire video right here, which is all about how to sell your coaching programs without being pushy. But one of the points that I make in that video is that I understand that selling is service. And so I am not a pushy person. In fact, I don't need to push my coaching programs because I have plenty of people who are either applying to my programs every single day or people who are sending me DMs in my Instagram comments, literally asking me, I want to join your program. When is your next opening? So it's not something that I have to push, but I have no problem mentioning my coaching programs. I will often mention it on a video if it's applicable because I understand that my programs are of service. I spent a lot of time and a lot of investment in my programs, right? These are not just videos that I've slapped together and I'm just running people through them. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on instructional designers to help take all of the information that I have in my head and, you know, organize it in a way that my clients can go through my content and actually get a result. So more than anything, I'm really proud of my programs and I'm happy to mention them whenever, you know, it makes sense for me to mention them because again, selling is service, it's not sleazy. And so I know a lot of people who really do believe in their programs and they really desire to help their clients, but they're just so reluctant to just even talk about their program, let alone sell it, because they have this limiting belief that selling is sleazy. So if that is a limiting belief of yours, you're gonna wanna let that go because it's keeping you from ultimately getting to where you need to be in your coaching business. All right, the third limiting belief that you're gonna need to let go of is this idea that coaching is not a real business. So sometimes I get comments like that where people are like, oh, I'm tired of all these coaches. You just coach coaches who coach coaches who coach coaches. And I'm like, well, why are you even on this video? But I find it fascinating that no one goes on videos of, I don't know, business professors who are also training other business professionals. And then they don't say, oh, you business MBAs, you're just training MBAs who will train MBAs who will train train MBAs, like it never happens, right? Or accounting professors who teach other accountants who teach accountants who teach accountants, or physicians who teach physicians who teach, like it's not a thing, but somehow in the coaching industry, it's like, oh, you know, coaching is not a real business. So I recognize that coaching is a new industry. It's something that people are just getting familiar with, but I'm really excited about the business that it is, because especially with COVID and the pandemic and people going online, it's really opened up the doors for people to really value online education outside of the traditional education system and wanting to learn from other people who have actually done it. In fact, we see this with the success of companies like Masterclass, right? I actually have a subscription to Masterclass. I love, you know, learning from all the celebrities and, you know, all the famous people about how they have achieved whatever they've achieved in their life. But just the success of a concept like Masterclass lets you know that we are entering in a new era online where people are thirsty for knowledge, and they're thirsty not only to learn, but to learn how to do things better. And so the coaching industry is wide open, and it really is a real business. And so again, you can't let the naysayers hold you back. If maybe people in your personal life are like, I can't believe you're trying to quit your job to be a coach. What is that? Is that even a real business? Trust me, it's a real business. Let that go. Let what other people think go, and just really go hard on your dreams. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. What limiting belief are you working on letting go in your business? Share in the comments below. All right, the next limiting belief that you need to let go of if you want to build a successful coaching business is this limiting belief that you don't know enough. Nothing could be further from the truth. And in fact, I was going over this in detail in my program, The Package, which is my brand new program that teaches you not only how to create coaching packages that sell, but how to be the coaching package that sell. But I was going in depth about how to come up with what to teach inside of your program. And a lot of people were really surprised to learn that they know a lot more than they think they do. So if you have this belief that I don't know enough, understand that if there is something that you have achieved that other people have not achieved, and they're asking you, how do you do it? That is proof right there that you absolutely do know enough to be a coach on. So I have another video that talks all about how you can come up with your signature offer and how to create frameworks around the things that you know. And so you can check that out right here, but just trust that if you've gotten a result, then that's proof positive that you know enough in order to be a coach, so you can let that limiting belief go. The fifth limiting belief that you need to let go is this idea that you are not allowed to be a coach. I think by now, if you've been around my brand at any time, you understand my position on certifications. I think coaching certifications are great, and if you want a coaching certification, you should definitely go get one, but you don't need one in order to start an online coaching business. And people hear me say that and they understand it intellectually, but there's like this resistance to really receive that and to go full-fledged in their business, because for so long we've been trained throughout, you know, the education system that you have to wait till you get permission at each level, right? So it's like, okay, when I graduate, then I can do this. And then when I get this degree, then I can do this. And so this idea that like, what? I could take my own knowledge and experience and I can create a brand around that and I can teach people how to do what I did. It feels foreign and like, are you sure? Am I allowed? But again, that's a limiting belief that you're gonna let go, or you need to let go of if you wanna build a successful brand. You're absolutely allowed to teach people based on your own experience. You can do that. And so you'll need to let that limiting belief go if it's holding you back, and just look at all the people who have been very successful in the coaching industry based on their actual personal experience. And I invite you to ask yourself, why can't you be one of those people as well? All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you're gonna love my Coaching Brand Success Secrets workshop. This is a brand new masterclass that I recorded not too long ago that goes over even more success secrets in order to build a successful coaching brand. So if you want access to that right now for free, click the link below. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you want even more where that came from, make sure that you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show. And if you can't wait till my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you are following me on Instagram. That's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.